As has been described, this is a private relief bill attempting to allow the young widow of a Marine who was killed in combat in Iraq to bring the couple's young son and come to live with the Marine's family in the state of Tennessee in my district. While everyone has supported this bill at every step of the way, it has run into some technical or procedural difficulties that has delayed it until this point. And as has previously been stated, I would like, as Mrs. Chu did, to thank particularly Senator Alexander and Senator Webb, who have taken such a personal interest in this bill on the Senate side. And I would like to once again thank the House for passing the general bill last month. Mrs. Ferschke, the mother of this soldier, first came to see me about this in December of 2008. Early in this Congress, we introduced a private relief bill. It took a few months to get the necessary information and complete the required paperwork, but this private bill was taken up by the subcommittee on immigration in the Judiciary Committee on July 23rd of 2009. At that time, it received the support of both Chairwoman Lofgren and Ranking Member King, both of whom I would also like to thank. However, at that point, there were some objections to doing private bills in the other body, and so at the direction of the staff of the Judiciary Committee, both a majority and minority, we attempted to do an amendment to the defense bill. However, some of the people on the Rules Committee, while supporting the bill, did not feel it was germane to the defense bill, which we also had to agree with, but we were doing that at the direction of others. But I also would like to thank Congressman McGovern, the gentleman from Massachusetts, because hearing about this at the Rules Committee, he took a special and personal interest in this bill also. We then passed we introduced a general bill, once again working with the staff of the Judiciary Committee, whom I would also like to thank. And that bill was passed last month in the House, but we ran into some objections here, and that's why we're back here today on this private relief bill. Hotaru Ferschke, as has been stated, is the widow of the late Sergeant Michael Ferschke of the Marine Corps. She was born on October 20th, 1983 in Okinawa, Japan. In March of 2007, as Ms. Chu said, when Sergeant Ferschke was stationed in Okinawa, he met at a mutual friend's party. They dated for more than a year before Sergeant Ferschke was deployed to Iraq in April of 2008. Shortly before Sergeant Ferschke deployed, the couple learned that Hotaru was pregnant. Sergeant Ferschke's parents and members of his family unit in Iraq, his military unit in Iraq, have attested to the fact that the couple already had planned to marry before Hotaru became pregnant and had decided to live and raise their future family in the United States. The couple was married by proxy via telephone by a military chaplain in July of 2008 while Sergeant Ferschke was in Iraq. But 1 month later, in August of 2008, Sergeant Ferschke was killed in combat. Although the marriage is legally valid and recognized by the military, in order for Mrs. Ferschke to be recognized as Sergeant Ferschke's spouse for immigration purposes, the marriage itself would have had to have been consummated. And under the circumstances, this wasn't possible. And the law makes no allowance to the fact that Mrs. Ferschke was already pregnant with her husband's child before the marriage ceremony took place. On August 5th, and I could go on and tell additional details, but I'll just leave those for the statement that I have and say that this is something that I think everyone has wanted to support all through this, and it is a great moment for this family to hopefully finally complete this at this time at the tail end of this Congress. And so I urge my colleagues to support this very worthwhile legislation.